Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice and welcome to another video all about reselling online. If you are new here, welcome. This is a channel all about reselling online. As I mentioned, I personally sell on Etsy, eBay and Poshmark, and I do that while being a stay-at-home parent. So this channel is pretty much going to talk about that work-life balance, as well as plenty of tips and tricks and all kinds of other cool stuff about how to do that successfully. So today I'm going to talk really specifically about how to handle a reselling business, an online reselling business, when you go on vacation. We actually just went on a family vacation. We went back to Disney World. We actually became annual pass holders, which was really exciting. If you can't tell behind me, we're super Disney nerds in this family, so it's going to be one heck of a year for us. But I obviously had to put my business on hold in order to go down to Florida and go on vacation, and there are definitely some steps that need to be taken in order to do that and successfully continue to run your online business. So I have 7 tips in all. 6 are things that I do every single time, and 1 is something that basically I wish I had done and I didn't, and I learned from my mistake, and I'm going to share that with you guys too. So number 1, the very first thing that I would recommend doing before you go on vacation is to make sure that you have it scheduled basically in your diary to change your handling time on eBay. There is a vacation setting on eBay, but that does not stop people from purchasing from your store. So if somebody purchases something from your store and you still have your regular everyday shipping settings, your handling time at, for instance, 1 business day is what mine is on an everyday basis, and someone buys something from you, even if you're not there with your inventory, if that is the shipping and handling setting, you're supposed to ship it. If you do have to cancel an order, that is kind of like a black mark, if you like, against your account. So you definitely don't want to be doing that if you can help it. On the other hand, if you stay with the sale and you go ahead and ship it out at the end of your vacation and you've lapsed so many days from when you should have been shipping it, that's also a black mark against your account. So those are things you really don't want to run into if you're looking to keep your business as healthy as possible while you're not right there at the computer. I personally tend to change my handling time at least 1 week before we leave. It's a little bit of kind of a love-hate thing for me, because I find that when I do alter my handling time, for instance, this vacation we went away for 2 weeks, so I changed it to 15 days handling. Usually I do see a drop in activity when that happens. It wasn't so bad this time actually, which I'm thinking it's more of the 3rd to 4th quarter season is what was helping me there. But overall, that usually slows things down for me a little bit, but it has to be done because you don't want to go on vacation with unpaid items. So that's where someone has purchased something and they have not yet paid, because even if they pay after you go on vacation and change all your settings, if that item was already marked as a 1-day handling item, tough luck, you were supposed to ship it out basically 1 day after that person has paid. So in order to sort of avoid that whole thing, I try to do it at least 7 days in advance, making sure that I get that sweet spot if I can where I have no unpaid items. If I do have an unpaid item, I do tend to reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm going on vacation in 7 days. If you haven't paid by that point, I'm going to be unable to ship your item. Would you like to pay? Would you like to cancel? Sometimes I hear back from them and sometimes I don't, but fingers crossed most people will respond. As a little side note to that, something I have done before on vacation in that particular situation is I have bagged up the item that somebody has purchased and not paid for, and I've taken it with me. And then lo and behold, they did in fact pay while I was on vacation. It did have that original 1-day handling on the item because it was from before I changed my settings. And so I just went ahead and found a post office on my vacation. Not super fun, but doable, and I shipped the item out and all was not lost. The next thing, number 2, that I like to do before leaving is I like to prep items for when I come back. When I come back from vacation, like most people on the planet, I don't much feel like doing work. So something that I do to kind of get around that and to help me get back into the swing of things is I do a lot of the hard work upfront. So for me, that's things like laundering items that need to be washed and pressed and things like that, taking photographs and making sure I have a big old pile of items that are photographed and ready to just sit down on my computer and list, and maybe even taking measurements for some of those items. So again, a lot of the data collection is done, the more mundane stuff, and I can pretty much just sit on my laptop on the couch if I want to and start getting things rolling again with my business. Number 3, in terms of preparing my business for when I go away, is making sure that things keep ticking over while I'm gone. What I mean by that is making sure that there is still some consistent activity on my accounts, even if I have the extended handling time or whatever. I'm making sure that fresh listings are going up every single day. And I personally, anecdotally, have found that that has really helped with making sure I'm still having sales and things while I was on vacation. I will say we went away for 2 weeks and I still averaged 2 to 3 sales per day on eBay alone. Then when I switched Poshmark on towards the end of my vacation, I'll talk about that later, I went straight back to having 2 sales a day since I've turned it on. So I feel like the consistency helps. Basically what I do for a couple of weeks running up to my vacation, when I know I'm going to kind of switch everything off as it were, I list my items for the day and then I list 1 or 2 extra and I save them as drafts, and I do schedule them. Not everybody will do it because you have to pay 10 cents per item for it to go ahead and go up for you. You can schedule it or keep it in drafts, and then you can go in and put it up before your scheduled time if you want to save that 10 cents. I personally want to be as hands off as possible when I'm on vacation, so I just go ahead and schedule them to go up like 7 a.m. and 7:05 a.m. every single day to 1 to 2, depending on how much I can get done while I'm packing and all that kind of stuff. And basically that just means that I have fresh listings going up every single day and my store is still awake. Now I will say that I do switch Posh off entirely for my vacation, only because there is no way really around that. They do have sort of an extended shipping time where you can ship up to, I think it 5 to 7 days, something like that, after a sale. However, that's not super good for your metrics, and often people will be wondering where that item is. So I tend to just shut it down and put it on vacation mode. Very easy to do on Poshmark. Just go into your Posh seller tools and you'll see there the opportunity to switch a toggle basically and put it on vacation mode, and it will say in your closet to anyone looking the date that you will be back. What I do then is I also use the drafts feature on Posh, and I go ahead and make the same drafts for Posh as I would do for eBay. I just don't put them live yet, and then when I switch everything on, I just go ahead through and put, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many I've got up straight away, share the top part of my closet to get it reorganized, and we're off. I will say as well, again, a side note, it's a really good idea to keep a little bit of a master list of those drafts, only because I want to make sure that everything has gone up on eBay exactly the same as it has on Posh, or if something went up on eBay and sold within the week, if it sold right away, I want to make sure that that isn't then going up being activated on Posh and it's actually an item that's already sold. So a master list on something like Google Keep or whatever kind of note taking you like to do is something really, really useful in order to get all of your ducks in a row and everything evened out as you should when you get back to it. Tip number 4 is to alter your handling time as you go. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, sometimes having a really big extended handling time like 15 days can make things slow down drastically in terms of the amount of activity and sales you may be having in your store. A way to kind of counteract this is take your laptop with you or your iPad or whatever you use, and one night in the hotel, go in and alter that handling time. So I think it goes like 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, something along those lines. So, once you're 5 days into your vacation, you can take that handling time down to 10 days. And then a few days later, take it down to 5 days. Just make sure it's evened up in line with like when you plan to actually ship your items. But that is, a way to sort of, again, have some activity going on your account because you're in there and you are editing things. And also it's a little bit more appealing to buyers rather than a 15-day handling time. If you're only 3 days out from getting home, having a 3-day handling time instead. Number 5 directly relates to the last point, which is give yourself enough time to ship. I have been very ambitious in the past and thought I could get home mid-afternoon and unpack my suitcases and ship all of my items and Bob's your uncle. And that is not the way that it has gone. It has been extremely stressful. I've actually been up to past midnight before trying to do that, tired from vacation. No more. So I give myself at least 2 days at home in order to get everything sort of in line and get everything shipped. That way, if I have a lot, like I did this last time, I had quite a lot when I came home to deal with, I can even do it in 2 halves and it's absolutely fine. So I got home Thursday, planned to be home Thursday early afternoon, actually got home Thursday after dinner time, like evening. Goes to show you, you just never know. And then Friday was my shipping day. Saturday was the day they actually went off with the post office. So that worked well for me. That is just my tip so you don't come home to stress right away. Point number 6 is to set up a sharer if you can. So it's kind of like a sneaky little tip here, but my sister-in-law is fantastic and helps me occasionally with the sharing and things like that, especially when I'm still on vacation. So I went ahead and turned on my Posh closet on the way home because I knew that I would be shipping out in 2 to 3 days after that. And instead of me having to sit there on the drive home dealing with the kids and dealing with rest stops and all that kind of stuff and trying to share my closet as well to get things going, I was actually able to pay her a little bit so that she could go in and do a little bit of sharing for me. It's not for everybody, I know, but it worked for me and it just helped to get everything going again, get the wheels turning as it were, and it did not stress me out on the way home. And the final point, point number 7 that I want to share with you, this is the one that I wish that I had done and I did not do, I will be doing in the future, is make yourself a copy and paste message to send to buyers. I cannot tell you, even though I had 15-day handling on my item, it's right there on every single listing, I think I got over 10 messages from people who bought from me and then said, hey, where's my item? I don't understand. And I had to go back in and tell them, oh, hey, as stated in the listing, it's 15-day handling because we're on vacation. Let me know if there's an issue. I'm so happy to help. Everybody was really, really nice about it. Everybody pretty much came back and said, oh, that's fine. I didn't read that. Have a nice vacation. It would have been so much nicer for me if I'd already had a message prepped to go, and as soon as I sold an item, I just messaged that buyer and literally said that. So that if they had missed the 15-day handling, they would have known about it. They weren't getting irate and wondering what was happening. I wasn't having to get these eBay message pings, which, let's be real, everybody gets anxious with the eBay message tone. And nobody really wants that. So I would have preferred not to have dealt with that and just kind of taken care of it up front. That is something I'll absolutely be doing next time and something I would definitely suggest you do as well. And that's it. That's all my tips for taking care of your online business while you are away on vacation. I hope they were helpful. If you have any tips or experience with this, please feel free to drop them down below. I love to hear other people's suggestions. We all learn from each other. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe and come back and hang out some more. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye, you guys.